Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Denise. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, good.
Awesome. Nice background.
Thanks. I tried a new one, but the new one had the ship right in the middle and my head was blocking it. So I'm like, that's not good.
So what I'm gonna do is right next to our names, you're gonna see Luxury Cruise Connections, and right next to yours, you're gonna see Atlas Ocean Voyages, so everyone can recognize.
Do you want me to update mine?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
I have
Okay.
updated it.
Thanks.
So you can see right now that Lisa has Luxury Cruise Connections right next to her name. We have Monica as well here. And the rest of our team will be joining soon.
Hello, Kathy.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How's the sound?
It's good. You were echoing there for just a minute, but you're good now.
I'm good now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying this on today.
There you go. Very stylish, very retro.
Good stuff. So I'm excited about today. Very, very excited.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Very interesting, also.
Looks like you guys have a good turnout so far. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're just wait and see. I think we're gonna have a lot of people.
That's good.
All right. Very, 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 very excited about today. So I'm going to start welcoming our guests for today. Let's see. We got a lot of people from our company that are joining us today. So a lot of luxury cruise connections advisors are with us. Let me just mute somebody. Okay, so we have a lot of luxury cruise connections advisors that are going to be joining us today as we receive our guests. We are going to start very soon. It's 2:55, and so for those that showed up early, thank you very, very much. Welcome to our Atlas Ocean Voyages Luxury Cruise Connections Zoom event. And what we're going to do is, as we wait for people to join, we can kind of start making some introductions. Feel free to interact. We want to make this very, very, very interactive. So, please do so. Please interact with us. And when we get started at a little bit past 3, we're going to talk about so many exciting things that are happening in the world of Atlas Ocean Voyages. We are expecting at least 40 people today, we think, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, Kathy.
Hi.
How? Okay, so for those that show, that showed up early, I want you guys to know that we are going to answer all of your questions. Linda typed a question in the chat, and I want you to know that we will get to all of those questions. So what we will do is make sure that you all type your questions in the box, and then toward the end of the event, we're going to go ahead and answer them one by one. I'll make sure not to miss a single one. Linda, the only reason why I want to wait a little bit to answer your question is because I am sure there's more than just one person that has that question. And so I want to make sure that we can, that everybody hears what we have to say. And today we're also going to have a little bit of a very special something for those that attended. We always like to give you guys an opportunity to take advantage of some special something that we give out for those attendees, so that if you're interested in what you hear today, you can then take advantage of them and book your next Atlas Ocean voyage, hopefully with us here at Luxury Cruise Connections. So, all right, it's 2:58, just a few more minutes, and we'll get started very soon. So Kathy, as we get started, real quick, if you can kind of understand a little bit about our schedule today in terms of time. Are you, do you have a hard stop at any particular time, or can we abuse of your time?
I am all yours.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna kind of get started with some light intros, and then hopefully we'll just roll into it at around 3:04, 3:05 max. So welcome everybody, and thank you very much for joining our Atlas Ocean Voyages Zoom call event. You are going to find that within our Zoom call today, there is a lot of people with a dash luxury cruise connections next to their name. And you're also going to see a lot of people, obviously, that don't have that. And then Kathy, as you can see, obviously, she's going to have a dash Atlas Ocean Voyages because she works directly for Atlas. Atlas Ocean Voyages, although a relatively new brand in this industry, we already have a very, very good relationship. And we've known not only Kathy, but many of the executive team at Atlas Ocean Voyages for many years. And we are extremely excited to have this new brand join the industry already some time ago, of course, but very recently just sailing. And we wish Atlas Ocean Voyages a very, very bright future, and we know that we're going to be there to support it too. And so today we, like I said, many of the Luxury Cruise Connections advisors that are part of this event today are here to also answer questions and participate and interact with some of you. So if you ask some questions within the chat, our Luxury Cruise Connections advisors are going to possibly interact with you on a kind of via private chat so that we can answer or kind of, take or escalate your questions for, to get a lot more in detail. Answers a lot more in detail. And then, of course, all those questions are still going to be read and answered in public, so that everybody can learn about all those questions. So first of all, I am Carlos Edry. I'm the CEO at Luxury Cruise Connections. And Kathy, what is your official title at Atlas?
I'm the regional sales director now for the Southeast.
Okay, there you go. So what we are going to do is we're going to ask everybody to keep yourselves muted as much as you can during the event, unless you have a very specific question that you want to kind of have us stop at one point. Please be sure to do so as well. We don't mind a lot of interaction. In fact, we welcome a lot of interaction. But in the meantime, if you send your questions via the chat, we'll make sure we address every single one of them at the end. Okay. Those that are part of these event are going to receive at the end. We're going to announce some special offers for those that attended, which you will be able to share with your friends and family. So that's good. And what we're going to try to accomplish today is to give you guys a lot of information about Atlas Ocean Voyages, about the brand, what they stand for, what they do, who they're catering to, what your experience is going to be like. Kathy is going to show a relatively short presentation, right? Very fun though, right?
Absolutely.
And then at the end, we're going to go ahead with all those questions. I see a lot of names today of past guests of Luxury Cruise Connections, some new names that I haven't seen in a while. Some of you might have done business with Luxury Cruise Connections in the past, and if you had a really good experience, hopefully you can endorse us and send us your friends and family. Some of you have not done business with us, and so I'll also take a few minutes of your time to explain who we are, what we do, and why we believe we're so special, and why we think you should start doing business with us. And then hopefully toward the end, we're going to get you so excited about cruising and so excited about Atlas Ocean Voyages that we can start holding some cabins for you guys, some staterooms. So let's start taking it away. So real quick, one more time, so that those that just joined us kind of get up to speed. I'm Carlos Edery, CEO at Luxury Cruise Connections. This is Kathy, regional business development
Director of Sales, yep.
Director of Sales for Atlas Ocean Voyages. If you see a dash Luxury Cruise Connections next to the name of an attendee, then you know it's a Luxury Cruise Connections advisor or team member. Kathy's say dash Atlas Ocean Voyages, and then everybody else here is obviously a guest. And so I very much welcome you to type your questions in the chat box, and please do so also throughout today's event. Denise, our incredible, there you go, there she is, our incredible marketing manager, is gonna push some polls, some questions, so that you can help us understand who's joining us and who's, a little bit about your, how you're feeling, and if, of course, if you're enjoying the presentations we got. Okay, so if you see a little thing pop up in your screen real quick, just answer it quickly and then continue paying attention. There you go, just like that. That's it. So excellent. Thank you. And so when the answers are good, I'll read them, and if they're bad, I won't. No, just kidding. So at least it seems like we have 48% of you guys that have done business with Luxury Cruise Connections. 50%, good. 50% of you have done business with Luxury Cruise Connections in the past. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. That means we have 50% of you that we need to earn your trust in your business, so you give us an opportunity. And so without further ado, Kathy Kasuma, please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I am going to share my screen so that you don't just have to look at me the whole time. And I will get into my presentation. Can everybody see that so far?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for the great introduction. And I'm so excited to have all of you here to learn about Atlas Ocean Voyages. I want to be respectful of your time. So I'm going to give you kind of the overview version of who we are. A lot of you may have not even heard of us before. That is okay, because we are brand new. We literally just started sailing last week on August 4th. We are still on our inaugural voyage right now, but we have some really exciting things to show you. I actually incorporated some pictures. I probably shouldn't have, but I figure we're all family here. We don't have to tell. But I'm getting pictures from people on board, so I wanted to show you a few little pictures before anybody else, so you actually get to see the very first images of the ship. But before we show all of those, I wanted to give you kind of a background on who Atlas is. Atlas Ocean Voyages is the first North American facing brand for our parent company called Mystic Invest Holding, or Mystic Cruises. They're based in Portugal. They've been in business for over 25 years and make up now the third largest river cruise operator in the world. So they know what they're doing, but they have European facing brands there, Douro Azul Cruises, they have Mystic Cruises, they have Nico Cruises. There's a shipbuilding element to them. And I only point that out because a lot of people say, well, why in the world did you start up a brand new cruise line in the middle of a global pandemic? It's a great question. It wasn't planned that way. But we certainly have had this in the works for a few years. And we are based and headquartered, because we are a North American facing brand, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So kind of the center of South Florida, center of cruising for the most part. Which is a great thing. And everything on board our ships will all be geared towards North American clientele, which is awesome. And we're very excited about that as well. We are a brand new brand, starting from scratch. We are also building our ships, literally not repurposing them or anything. We are purpose building them for not just ocean cruises, but also the expedition market. And I'll get into that here in just a minute. And we are all inclusive. We call ourselves all inclusive all the way. And I'll show you exactly what that means here in a couple of slides, so that you see exactly what's included with every single voyage that you book with Atlas Ocean Voyages through Luxury Cruise Connections, of course. We are also what we call a Luxe Adventure brand. We've kind of come up with this new term and coined the phrase Luxe Adventure. And I will explain exactly what I mean by Luxe Adventure here in a minute too. But really the basis for that was that we found a kind of a niche in the cruise marketplace that we wanted to fill. And that was marrying the upscale luxury small ship experience in cruising with a more expedition and adventure experience. So that's where we came up with Lux Adventure. And our very first ship is called World Navigator. We actually have 5 on order. 3 are currently in the shipyard in Portugal, being built right now. And we'll have all 5 sailing in the water by 2023 and early 24. So we're very excited about that. All identical sister ships, just under 10,000 tons and less than 200 guests. So very exciting. And I'm going to give you some more information as we go along here. But our very first ship, World Navigator, our baby, was just launched on August 4th on her maiden voyage. And again, it's still sailing. We're coming around to the end of the cruise here very shortly, but we're very excited to have people on board and actually be cruising. So when I talk about Lux Adventure, 2 things. I'll kind of define the Lux part first, and then I'll get into adventure. But Lux, you'll hear me say Lux versus luxury quite often, and that is because we don't want to give the impression of stuffiness or overly formal kind of vibes. That is not who we are at all, hence the word Lux. Everything that will be on board will be 5-star appointments. We'll have all the luxuries and amenities at the fingertips of our guests that are accustomed to luxury, but we will do so in a very relaxed, comfortable atmosphere, kind of a casual elegance on board, hence the word Lux. We will not have any formal nights. We will have all open seating with the exception of a few alternative dining options, which require reservations in advance, but are all included. But otherwise, everything is kind of a come as you are type vibe. We want you to be comfortable, and we really want you to focus on the destination and the experiences that you have ashore versus having to worry about dressing up and what to wear and when to be somewhere at a specific time. On the adventure side, that word really excites people or it really scares people. And I'm here to kind of define that for you. Adventure for Atlas equals experiences. And adventure is a very personal thing. You see some pictures on the screen here of some hang gliding and some diving and some rock climbing. Yes, we will offer those types of shore excursions on our different itineraries. We'll have hot air balloon rides over the rock formations in Cappadocia. We'll have camping overnight on the ice in Antarctica. We will have cage diving for sharks in different areas of the world. We'll have these type of opportunities for our guests, but those aren't the only opportunities that we have. So that's where the adventure side comes in. So if hang gliding for you is adventurous, that's awesome. We want to have that as an offering. But for me, an adventure might just be roaming off into a different port of call that I've never been to before and sampling the local cuisine. So adventure really is a personal thing and what you make of it. So we're really going to try and offer a wide range of different things. We will have 3 different categories of excursions: mild, moderate, and more adventurous. The mild will have more traditional, cultural, historical type experiences. Moderate will incorporate a little bit more walking and movement, and adventurous will be some of those rock climbing and diving type of opportunities as well. So again, Lux Adventure is kind of our niche market that we've kind of grown into and are really excited at the response that we've gotten so far about that. And I mentioned earlier that we're all inclusive all the way. Everything you see on the screen right now is fully included in every voyage that you book with Atlas. So I'll start with the biggie. No need to save the best for last. We include round-trip economy airfare from 16 different gateways in the US and Canada with each and every cruise that you book. You can upgrade to premium economy and business class if you'd like to for an additional charge. And we are looking at expanding those different gateways across the US and Canada in the next few weeks. So very soon, there'll probably be even more inclusions there. Even if you fly from a gateway that's not one of the major hubs, it's just a minimal fee to tack on to make sure that it's most convenient to get from your home to the destination where we're sailing. For our Antarctica cruises, because about half the year we do cruising around the world, the other half the year we do Antarctica expeditions. We're also going to venture up into the Arctic in 2022. And we take on expedition cruising from November to March every year. That is the summer season for Antarctica. And with that, we actually include private charter jet service that is round trip Orlando, Florida to Ushuaia, Argentina. And that, again, is included in the price. And if you book a suite, you're automatically upgraded to business class for that flight. It is an Atlas experience from the moment you step on board that plane. We'll feed you, there'll be drinks flowing. It's an overnight flight. We're chartering our own Airbus A330. It again will be a really amazing part of your vacation, and it'll be seamless from the second you step on that flight until you get off the flight coming back home. We really want to make that experience work for you. For our Antarctica trips as well, we fully include all of our expeditions. We are able to do up to 2 landings per day in Antarctica, plus our ice cruises on one of our 18 Zodiacs that we have on board. And that is included in the price. Yes, there's optional, more adventurous type excursions available, but we do include all of the expeditions in the price of the cruise. If you're not on an Antarctica voyage with us and you're sailing in any other destination in the world, we include 1 shore excursion per person per port. And that is, we don't just give you a bus tour, we actually give you a menu of options to choose from for this complimentary tour. Kayaks and paddle boards, and also jet skis, which I didn't even have a chance to update my PowerPoint, are included complimentary in warm water destinations for our ships. Of course, all your gourmet international cuisine and your unlimited premium pours, beer, wine, and spirits are included. We will give you filtered water and reusable bottles on board because we are a green ship and no reusable plastics on board. Gratuities, of course, are included. If you have a suite, butler service is included. The basic standard Wi-Fi package is included. We're partnering with L'Occitane for all of their amazing bath soaps and lotions, and all of their bathroom products are included in each of the staterooms, as well as in our sea spa. And then we just added at the end of last year, emergency evacuation and return insurance that's included in the price of every single voyage for every single guest. And this is something a little bit unique to us. We're the first cruise line to actually include this in the price. It's a peace of mind thing, and it's not unusual for other expedition lines to require you to purchase this. We're including it in the price because we sail to such remote destinations. If for some reason there is some sort of medical emergency on board that cannot be handled by our doctors and nurses in our medical facility, this will cover the transportation costs to get you from the ship to the closest destination for medical treatment, and then from that location home. It doesn't take the place of medical insurance or travel insurance, but it is peace of mind for transportation. If there's a medevac in some remote destination, that is already included for you in the price of the cruise. So we include quite a lot in our packages. I want to tell you a little bit about World Navigator and her subsequent sister ships as well. Again, we're going to have all 5 in the water by 2023. Just under 10,000 tons, only 98 staterooms on board. All 5 of our ships will be green ships. We have this unique propellerless hybrid propulsion technology on board that allows us to consume significantly less fuel than other ships of the same size. Doesn't mean we don't have propellers. We do have propellers, but we can actually sail up to 5 knots without tapping into them, which makes us very environmentally friendly. We also have an anchorless positioning system that allows us to get up close and personal to different destinations, to view wildlife and that sort of thing without disturbing any of the marine environment. It's a great thing. Our total capacity on board is 196 guests, double occupancy. In Antarctica, we don't fill the ship to 100% because we use some of those staterooms for our expedition team leaders as well as our experts that come on board. So we only fill the ship to 186. We have a 1 to 1.4 crew to guest ratio. Again, 98 staterooms total. 6 different dining options. That's 5 dining venues and room service that is available and all included. And we have got 2 main lounges. One is the Dome Observation Lounge. I'll show you a picture of it here in a minute. The other is the Atlas Lounge. And then we have an auditorium where all of our nightly entertainment, any of our lectures that we have about the different areas, the culture, the history, any of our Antarctica briefings and what to expect will all take place there. We'll have a variety of entertainment on board. We're not large enough to have a big Broadway style review show, but we will have entertainers, vocalists, guest entertainers. We'll have a pianist, we'll have a band, we'll have some pop-up entertainment throughout the voyages as well. Up on deck 7, we have a heated pool and 2 hot tubs. And on deck 4, we have a bit of a focus on well-being. So we do have a fitness studio as well as our L'Occitane Sea Spa. We have exclusive L'Occitane treatments as well as their products there in that spa. And in between that, we have a little grab-and-go place called Paula's Pantry where you can grab juices and smoothies as well as some other things throughout the day as well. And then all the way forward At the bow of the ship on deck 5, we have Water's Edge, which is an exterior observation deck. You can go out there to look at wildlife, and we do scenic cruising. And if we're in a cold water destination, you can actually sit out there on heated benches, so you can brave the elements and stay warm while you're out there. Just a few little pictures here of our accommodations on board. We have 3 different levels of 1-bedroom suites. Each of those suites has a separate living room area and bedroom area, and an extended 106 square foot balcony outdoors, which is beautiful. And then we have several different types of what we call veranda staterooms. We've got your traditional veranda stateroom, and you can see the picture here on the left is a traditional a sliding glass door that takes you out to a 52 square foot balcony. We also have what we call our horizon staterooms. That's the picture on the right-hand side, where we've actually incorporated that balcony square footage into the living space of the stateroom and replaced the balcony with a floor-to-ceiling window. And you can see the picture of the window there. Anything above that black bar actually opens up. You can take in the fresh air, the sights, the sounds. And then when you're done, you close the window and you've got all that extra living space. So we call both of those veranda staterooms, but one is the horizon, one is the veranda. It's a personal choice, completely up to you, but we do have both options available. And starting in March of 2022, we are converting the 12 staterooms that we have that are outside or ocean view staterooms, and you see them pictured here. We're going to convert those into single solo suites. So if you're looking to sail by yourself, it's a great option, and the pricing is phenomenal. So be sure to ask your Luxury Cruise Connections advisors about that, because we are already selling anything beyond March of 2022 with those solo suite staterooms, and they are booking up really fast. But all of our accommodations come with double beds that convert into singles if you like. So queen size beds that you can split apart. Obviously an oversized interactive flat panel TV. We know that connectivity is very important these days, so we will have Bluetooth connectivity in your stateroom, as well as 5 USB charging ports. People like to know that. Of course, the basic standard Wi-Fi is included. You can upgrade it if you'd like to on board. We have a fully stocked mini fridge as well, digital safe, all of the amenities that you would find on any other luxury cruise. But I'd like to point out, especially for the ladies, we have some amazing guest bathrooms on board. You know, sometimes cruise ship bathrooms aren't the largest and don't have the best bathrooms. We have these amazing floor-to-ceiling marble bathrooms and marble showers with not just the rain head shower above, but also jets in the wall that come out. So it's a very luxurious experience in the stateroom bathrooms as well. And of course, we have the complimentary Wi-Fi, 24-hour room service, and you'll have a cabin steward or stewardess there to help make up your room every day as well. In terms of the life on board, I mentioned we have a health and well-being area. We've got our fitness studio pictured here, of course, our pool and our hot tubs up on deck 7. We will offer well-being classes as well as fitness classes. None of those are at additional charge. They are 100% included in the fare as well. And these are actual photos from our sea spa on board. I was just able to incorporate them in as well. They're not professionally done here. These are just people taking pictures on board, but it looks amazing. We've got 2 treatment rooms, obviously our sauna, and then a relaxation area as well. So looking forward to those specialty treatments by L'Occitane on board. I mentioned our entertainment and how we'll have guest entertainers on board as well as guest lecturers. There'll be lectures from the different destinations to give you information about where you're going to be, but also we'll have some pop culture entertainers and pop culture speakers. We'll have some people on board that will talk about different types of interesting subjects, not necessarily affiliated with where you're going to be, to keep you, again, entertained throughout the voyage as well. Now, I've compiled a few pictures, so bear with me because these are brand new that just actually came through from people that I know on board the ship who are still there now. And I wanted to kind of walk you through some of these pictures. So the first, we'll go from left to right. On the left-hand side, the top and the bottom photos there on the left are of one of our main lounges called the Atlas Lounge. You can see the bar area there. And again, everything's all included. It is a very contemporary, laid-back style, but very much a very clean, modern style that we were going for. The center picture at the top is of our reception area. The picture in the center on the bottom is Paula's Pantry, that grab and go I was telling you about. That's one side of it. There's another side to it as well. We have 24 hours, we'll have things that people can grab their snacks, on the go kind of lunches, as well as juices and smoothies right there by our fitness center and our sea spa. And then on the right-hand side, both of those top and bottom pictures on the right are of our Porto dining room, which is our main dining venue that we have on board as well. And I have a few more to show you. We do have an al fresco dining area just off our main dining room, which is called Porto, and that is the left-hand picture at the top. That is part of our al fresco area. The picture beneath that is called a 7 aft. So during the day, that is kind of our by the pool, it's kind of our burger bar area to get a kind of a quick grilled lunch. But in the evening, we convert this area to an outdoor grilled steakhouse. It's a very casual feel, but again, it's a very upscale experience in terms of culinary experiences on board with amazing steaks and options that do require reservations in advance, but no additional charge for that. The center picture at the top is of our jogging track up on deck 8. Of course, great views from there. Just underneath that is a picture of our auditorium, and the picture all the way on the right is just a pretty view of one of the hallways on board. So you can just see kind of the stylistic pictures that we have of the ship. Probably my favorite area, this picture is brand new, and I just got it from someone who was on board, is of the Dome Observation Lounge. It's up on deck 7. One deck above the bridge. By the way, we do have an open bridge policy as well. You can come and go and actually talk with the navigational officers, but this is one deck above the bridge all the way forward. You can see 270-degree views all the way around, floor-to-ceiling windows. Great for scenic cruising. If you don't want to brave the elements out on water's edge on deck 5 at the bow, you can do so indoors. Obviously, it gets its name from the beautiful skylight above. During the day, it's a nice quiet place to come during scenic cruising. You can also grab a late lunch here. A light lunch will be served here on certain days throughout the voyage. And then in the evenings, this will become very lively. It's kind of our piano bar area. We'll have music. Of course, drinks are flowing. We'll have hors d'oeuvres there as well for people. And we really have a really good time in this area in the evenings. It'll be more of an interactive, no chamber music here. We want people to let their hair down, have a really great time. So an interactive piano bar feel with music and entertainment. So let's talk a little bit about our destinations. We did have to make a few changes to our initial itineraries, not so much due to the pandemic, but more so due to unrest in certain areas. We were scheduled to go to the Black Sea and the Holy Land. We've had to change that a little bit. So right now we're doing cruises to the Aegean Sea and the Greek Isles. And then we will do some Western Mediterranean cruises in 21. Before early October, we do our transatlantic crossing from Lisbon to Barbados. We do a Caribbean Amazon cruise. We were supposed to go to South America, but it looks like we're probably going to change that here in the next little bit to a deep Caribbean voyage, just because of some of the pandemic issues that has been going on in some of the South American countries. But we will be in position in November in time for our Antarctica season, which is super exciting, from November until March. We just recently announced our 2022 voyages. Luxury Cruise Connections has some amazing space that we're holding specifically for some of these sailings, and I'll mention those here at the end so that you know which ones we're talking about. And because we've worked with Luxury Cruise Connections from the very beginning, we actually have given them some great pricing and some great amenities that are exclusive to them and to no other agency, which is a great thing. So keep an eye on those. But we are actually going to do a South America at the end of our first Antarctica season. So March into April of 2022 will be in South America. We'll do some more Med, of course. Everyone loves the Mediterranean. Some really great itineraries there that include Nice and Monaco. We'll be right around that area during the Grand Prix. So if you're interested in that, we will be there, and we'll be able to kind of facilitate a cruise on either end of that great event if you're interested. We've got some really popular British Isles cruises, especially if you're into golf. We have a few very particular golf cruises where around the British Isles, every single port of call will be within 30 minutes drive of a PGA golf course. So really excited about that. We'll have some golf, obviously, shore excursions to share in the near future related to those itineraries too. And then in 2022, it's on a lot of people's bucket list, is we are going to Iceland and Greenland. We'll obviously go up into Norway and the North Cape, and do a few Arctic cruises and expeditions up there as well. These, again, are super popular, and people are already booking and holding space for these sailings as well because of these unique itineraries, and we don't really repeat itineraries other than Antarctica, so they've been super popular. Our Baltic cruises as well will be taking place from Kiel, Germany, and then we'll do some transatlantic, again from Porto this time, Porto in Portugal, all the way over to Bridgetown, Barbados. And then before making our way back down to South America, we'll actually do some Central America cruises where we go into the Panama Canal, spend the night, come back out, do some unique things, come down the coast of South America, and get us again into position for fall of 22 for another Antarctica season. I should have more details on Antarctica for the fall of 22 into 23 here in the next few days, maybe a week or so. I should have more updates on that. And then I will have a full season of 2023 itineraries that I'll share with Luxury Cruise Connections as soon as I get them. Probably around the 1st of October, end of September, 1st of October, I'll have all of 23 itineraries out for 2 ships, the World Navigator as well as our 2nd ship, World Traveler. So stay tuned for that. So let's talk really quickly about Antarctica, since that's what we do and specialize in about half the year. Our ships are all certified for ice exploration. Our polar category is C, our ice class rating is 1B. We have 18 Zodiacs on board our ships, and we can do up to 2 landings per day. Because there's all these rules and regulations in Antarctica, you can only have about 100 people off the ship on land exploring at a time. We can do that twice per day, getting everyone off the ship in 2 different areas of Antarctica to explore with our expedition team leaders. And again, we have those Zodiacs on board, each hold a total of 10 people. So your guide plus 9 other guests are able to go. And it's a really amazing, life-changing experience. Our expedition team is made up of a whole range of different experts, and they come from different walks of life and backgrounds. We've got marine biologists, we've got ornithologists that study birds, glaciologists that study the ice, geologists that study the land. We've got expert photographers that we try and incorporate in there as well. They'll all be giving not only briefings on what to expect and how to navigate when you're actually there in Antarctica, what to look for, but they're also going to tell you the best way to capture the best memories and photos as well. They'll give you all the rules and regulations, because there's a lot of different things you've got to know about being in Antarctica and the wildlife and safety measures, but also safety for the animals that are there as well. A really unique, very different type of experience. If you've never been on an expedition before, but you have cruised, it's a very different cruise experience. What Atlas is trying to do is give you that amazing expedition experience, but also when you come back on board the ship, you feel like you're at home, you can revel in what you just experienced, share pictures and photos of these amazing animals, penguins, whales, seals, birds, all types of wildlife that you were able to see, and not have to rush and get ready for dinner and dress up, but really relax, let your hair down, enjoy great service, amazing food, and good entertainment. In terms of what we provide for you, we try to provide as much as we possibly can up front for our Antarctica voyages. We will give you a packing list in advance so you know exactly how to pack for these expeditions, what to wear. Obviously, layering is expected just because the weather can change very, very frequently while you're there. But we do tell you to leave your big, heavy coats at home, because we will provide you with your own Atlas Ocean Voyages parkas, and those are souvenirs for you to keep. We actually have a Zodiac loading area, or what we call our mudroom, down on deck 3. That's where we'll have lockers to store your parkas as well as your knee boots. These are rubber boots that come up above your knees to protect you and also to protect the wildlife from us that you'll need to wear. We'll have all your safety equipment, binoculars, you name it. We'll try and provide all of that for you well in advance, and then once you're also on board the ship, to make it a really well-rounded experience for you. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, included in that price for Antarctica voyages is a round-trip private charter jet service from Orlando, Florida to Ushuaia, Argentina. So again, your airfare is included from one of those 16 major gateways to get to Orlando if you need to. And then from Orlando, you board that Airbus A330 that we're chartering. It's an Atlas theme. Again, we'll feed you. There'll be drinks flowing. We're giving pajamas. I'm excited about the pajamas. Little eye masks. We're going to make it a really comfortable experience for you. It's about a 12-hour flight overnight. No need for a fuel stop. And we will, again, whisk you away. If you've ever gone on an expedition cruise to Antarctica before, or ever tried to get down to the very southernmost point of South America, you know that lift getting down there can be very tricky. I know Denise and I have talked about this a lot. Getting down to Argentina can be tricky, but it's a really great experience to be able to kind of, instead of tacking on additional cost and additional time on either end of your trip, to actually have a charter jet service to get you there and to get you back home in style, no less, as well. So again, a great game changer for us in the expedition market. So I'm not sure what Carlos and Denise have in store for us, but I wanted to kind of put up for you our exclusive offer through Luxury Cruise Connections. For the next 2 weeks on this, for all of you who are participating, you can actually get some really great savings. On the right-hand side of the screen, these are all of the special group bookings that we have put together for Luxury Cruise Connections, all of these different amazing sailings. We've got anywhere from 7 nights all the way up to 16 nights, amazing itineraries in both 21 and 22. We've got a few of our Antarctica discoveries, and when I come out with more itineraries, we'll likely set aside some more space. And what we've done is we've actually worked together with Luxury Cruise Connections to pick out some really unique itineraries, the ones that we think are actually going to sell out and be most popular. And we've set aside some space as well as some pricing specific to this agency. And that is because we've done business with them. We have known them from years past as well, in different walks of life, and really know that they can really provide the best travel agency service out there. So we wanted to make sure that we actually have some specialty type offers that is exclusive to this agency. So contact your Luxury Cruise Connections advisor. They can tell you exactly, and they vary depending on the cruise. You might have a pre-cruise credit on one of these voyages. You may have something else that's included, whether it's a pre or a post tour. So double check with them, because each one is a little bit different and a little bit unique. But because you're on this call today and listen to me ramble on and talk, we're actually on top of that, on top of any of these sailings that you might be interested in, we're reducing the deposit for you. So there's very little risk, if any at all, involved, to $250 per person for any bookings that are made. We'll throw in an additional pre-cruise shore excursion of $100 per person. And again, since everything's included and your shore excursions are included, we have those optional ones to upgrade to. You could put that $100 per person towards some optional upgrades. Or if you want to do a pre or post cruise with us, you can apply that toward that as well. And again, this is valid on any bookings that are made in the next 2 weeks between now and August 26th. So all you have to do is contact your Luxury Cruise Connections advisor, and they will let you know all the details that you need to know about that. So I tried to kind of go through everything as quickly as I could, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has, and Carlos and Denise, whatever you have for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very, very much. Why don't we go ahead and unshare the screen for a second so that they can better see our faces. And let's see, I think, Kathy, you've got to do that on your end. And thank you very, very much for this presentation. It was amazing. And as Kathy was saying, so we have a list of, and we can pull those up later in a few seconds. We will send you this information via email anyway, so that you all have it. But that list of itineraries that Kathy pulled up a few minutes ago, you're gonna find very, very exclusive pricing, which is also combinable with the offer, right? And with the $100 per person offer. And does it also combine with the reduced deposit, Kathy?
Yes, sure does.
Perfect. And then on top of that, Luxury Cruise Connections always has some private sales going on that are, at any point in time. So as long as you call us within the next 2 weeks, you're going to have the richest offer for your next Atlas Voyages Ocean Voyages cruise. I hope you really liked it. And we do have some questions. What I'm going to do is, I love guest interaction. So I will open up with some questions, kind of get the conversation going, but please feel free to either raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask away, because we love that interaction. We want to make sure that we make this very, very dynamic. So Kathy, I'm going to start with a very easy question. Linda Goodwin is asking us about the smoking policy. What is the smoking policy on board Atlas?
So right now, smoking policy is only outdoors. So you can smoke in the outdoor areas, but not inside the ship. Okay.
So not in your balcony, not inside the ship, just in the outdoor areas.
Correct.
Designated areas, or just can there be?
Yes, I believe there's designated areas in some of the outside decks.
Okay. I have a question from Karen. Karen, if at any point in time you feel that I'm missing something in your questions, please feel free to interrupt. I know you're around, so please feel free to interrupt and just let's make sure that we're answering all of your questions. Okay. So I have a few here. The first one is about laundry service. So originally, at one point, some time ago, I guess, in the frequently asked questions, there was information about laundry being included. It seems like some guests that were on board the first itinerary of the first sailing, or inaugural sailing, had some questions about it. Apparently, it was not as included as they expected, I guess. And so that was posted on, I believe, Cruise Critic, and she's asking if something did change regarding laundry inclusion. If they are able to, and guests that knew about this before or that booked at the time where it was available, if they can get some credit for it.
So from what I understand, there were some changes to the second ship, World Traveler, which will have freestanding laundry facilities that guests can use on board. So we will have laundry facilities available on our next ship, but on the current World Navigator, I haven't actually seen the two different deck plans with the facilities laid out in specifics yet, but World Navigator does not have the self-service laundry. There is laundry available, but for a charge right now, and dry cleaning right now is not available. From what I understand, they are working on board to rectify that from previous advertising. So I'll find out more. I mean, obviously this just kind of hit us this week. I'll find out more about that, and I'll get back to you, Carlos, and your team, just so that you know where we stand with that. But as of right now, laundry is not included, but laundry service is available for a charge, and dry cleaning is not available at the current time. Our future ships will have self-service laundry available on board.
And Karen, the beauty of our relationship with Atlas is, one of the beauties is that because of the relationship, we can see what we can do for you, and we'll figure something out for you, especially regarding that. Okay. Same thing with Wi-Fi. Same question with Wi-Fi. Apparently, some of the people that are on the current voyage are reporting that Wi-Fi is, apparently at one point, Wi-Fi was included for texting and emails, not streaming. But some of the people on this voyage discovered that that's not 100% accurate. What's your thought on that?
I believe what was happening on this voyage, and again, they're trying to work out the bugs, I guess I'll call it, of the very first cruise, and we will obviously handle that. There were some technical issues, I guess, on the previous sailing, which was a non-revenue cruise. It was kind of the shakedown cruise with some of the internet, and they had to limit the bandwidth of some sort. So anyway, it wound up being the basic service, which was the texting and the basic emails, wound up having a limit to it. And so people were kind of blowing through that really quickly if they didn't turn certain features off on their phones, which caused them to go over. But yes, we are rectifying that. And the intent is still to include the basic level of service with some upgradable options. If you'd like to do more downloads and more streaming, that will be available for purchase. But again, I don't have the fine details to that, but we are well aware of it. Actually have a meeting about it tomorrow with our team to talk through some of the findings and some of the things that we learned of this past cruise as well. So I'll keep, obviously, Luxury Cruise Connections posted on all of that so that you can share it with your team as well, or your clients.
Thank you for that. And you know what else, Kathy? I'm glad that we're able to have this conversation so early on in the process of launching, because I think there's nothing more important than having a very honest and transparent conversation about, you know, the natural things that happen when you're launching a brand new cruise line, not even just a ship, a brand new cruise line. And so we're able to have this very honest conversation about it, because I think ultimately is going to help feel our guests a lot more comfortable, right? Knowing that these things are being addressed.
And so far, the feedback that I've received, and I have colleagues that are on board the ship, I have some travel advisors that I work closely with on board the ship. And so far, any of the little comments that we've heard back, I'd say all of them, and their little bits and pieces, are very fixable and very easy for us to address. And I have no doubts that we'll correct all of those kind of missteps and learn from those and move forward. But the feedback that I've received is the ship and the hardware is beautiful. I can tell in videos and the photos that I've received that the food is amazing and that the service is awesome. So I have been very happy to hear all of the reports back. I'm actually sailing myself here on August 28th. So I'm very excited about that. And I'll have more pictures to share with you, and can answer a lot of your questions directly from experience too.
Excellent. I have one more question from Karen. I'm going to read this one verbatim, okay? With the recent outbreak of COVID on your first voyage, will Atlas Ocean Voyage now require the passengers be adequately vaccinated prior to boarding and be required to wear masks in the indoor spaces? Apparently, having the passenger just attest to their vaccination status is not only insufficient, but unsafe. Have the exposed passengers who initially tested negative after the exposure being told that they need to retest 3 to 5 days after the initial exposure as per CDC guidelines? When will the pool, gym, and spa reopen?
So to kind of address those in little spurts, we did have one guest who tested positive for COVID on board the voyage. That person, obviously, and anyone, and they do the contact tracing very well, anyone who was anywhere around this person on a tour, in a dining scenario, or had any sort of interaction, was asked to quarantine until they could be retested. And everyone was tested again. The person tested negative for a rapid test. They tested positive for a PCR, negative for a rapid, and then positive for a second PCR, which unfortunately we had to turn the ship around. Instead of going to Cairo, we had to go back to Greece to disembark this guest. And everyone else since tested negative, and they were retested twice. And it is not a scenario that we enjoy, but it's kind of the world today and what we're going to have to face in travel for the near future, probably for a little bit, is just kind of living with these types of protocols. In terms of being vaccinated, we currently don't have a hard and fast rule that you must be vaccinated to sail. However, I do know that we are re-looking at that policy. And again, I have a meeting coming up tomorrow that might address some of these issues moving forward. We do require you to have a negative PCR test upon joining the ship within 72 hours of embarking. If you're on one of the Atlas pre-tours, we will provide that for you. We will arrange for that in whatever destination you're in, so that you don't have to interrupt your trip to figure all of that out. And then we will also do rapid antigen testing at the pier before embarkation. We will test you throughout the cruise, especially if a port that we're sailing to requires you to be tested. So in this case, they boarded the ship in Athens and sailed over to Egypt, and Egypt required a 72-hour negative PCR test. So we tested everyone on board, which is when we found that this person came up with a positive test. So we're trying to do everything that we can in terms of steps of testing on board and making sure we have that. In terms of mask requirements, we are requiring people to wear masks when they're moving about the ship indoors. When they're seated and they're having meals, they can remove their masks. Obviously outdoors, masks are not required. We are following the ports of call guidelines in terms of shore excursions, and when they get off the ship, what they require in that destination. But so far, all of the destinations have required masks to be on when you're in a bus, but when you're outdoors and you're out in the open air, you can remove your mask if you'd like. So that, again, will be ever changing. And our policies, I would imagine, will be like that as well, and will change as we know everything in the news changes hour to hour and minute to minute almost. And we're trying to kind of go with the flow and make those adjustments and be as flexible as we can to accommodate for that as well.
What I want to say about all of this is, I mean, look, we've been having conversations about protocols and about, what travel looks like and what cruising looks like as the cruise line industry restarts. And I think the most important thing that we have to all keep in mind is, as Kathy's saying, it's not like the world doesn't have an issue anymore. There's still an issue, right? It's just, how do we go about being able to continue with our lives and traveling and enjoying the world and still, and navigating through these issues, right? So it's good to see a cruise line that has protocols that work, right? Now, yes, I mean, obviously there's always going to be opinions regarding, how much more or what else can the cruise line do in terms of requiring or not requiring. Obviously, ideally, there's not going to be any cases, but the idea is to limit the exposure and to make sure the protocols are in place so that people can continue to enjoy their vacation, and so forth. And even if none of us are exempt from being that one that unfortunately has to go through something like this, and so what I've been hearing a lot of is what a great job everybody's doing at making feel everybody very, very well, and treat everybody with the level of hospitality that is expected, even if unfortunately that person's ill. So thank you for that answer, Kathy. I have one more regarding your transatlantic voyage. Barbados seems to have some restrictions regarding asking people to quarantine for 7 days, etc. Are there any changes announced for that Portugal departure into Barbados in terms of the?
I would imagine that's in the works. I mean, obviously, this just came across our desk just recently, as in I just found out about it today. So I'm sure that our executive team are working on that as we speak. So as soon as we've got more information on that, whether that itinerary will change, whether the destination that we end up in, whether it's Barbados or a different location, we will take a look at that. We also are in very close contact. We've been working with the tourist boards and tourism authorities in Barbados on our events there that we were hosting anyway. So hopefully we might get a little bit of a heads up here and there when things are looking to change. Obviously, we've got between now and October 4th for things to change very quickly. So once we have kind of a plan B and a plan C in place that we're able to share, we absolutely will do that. But again, we're always on top of all of the different ports of call and places that we're visiting and trying to be as fluid and flexible as we can. And we appreciate, obviously, our guests and our travel advisor partners as well, kind of going with the flow with us there too, since it's no pun intended, but kind of uncharted territories for us a little bit here as well. So we will try and, always have at least one, if not two or three backup plans in place for things like that.
So Kathy, now you know, if Atlas Ocean Voyages is ever looking to hire somebody that can keep you on your toes, you can hire Dr. Karen. She'll be very happy to.
Hey, I welcome those questions because as a traveler, that's a very intelligent thing to do, is to do your research, ask questions, and I'm very transparent. If I have information, I am happy to share it. If I don't have information, all I can say is that I don't know, but I'll try to find out and communicate that back to you so that you have the latest as soon as I have it. So that's the only promise I can really make to you. But again, I'm happy to share whatever information that I have on my level.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I think the question that we sent out on the poll came across, unfortunately, not what we were trying to ask. What we're trying to ask is, are you planning on sailing with Atlas Ocean Voyages? So I apologize for that. I think some of you knew what we meant. Another question here. Antarctica dates. What are your Antarctica dates for 2022?
So for 2022, we plan to sail the entire season, which is usually mid to late November through March of 2023. We don't have those exact itineraries out because we will have 2 ships positioned there in the fall of 22 into 23. The World Navigator and World Traveler will both be there. Because of the success so far of our sailings for 21 and 22, early 22 this year, we're doing a repetitive 9-day round trip Ushuaia Antarctica Discovery cruise, which is an amazing itinerary. And we have 2 one-time 12-night cruises. One is the solar eclipse cruise and one is crossing the circle cruise. They go a little bit further out. They're a little bit longer, opportunity to see different types of wildlife. Obviously, the solar eclipse is a once in a 400-year type lifetime experience. Both of those cruises are completely sold out right now with a wait list. So because of the success of those 2 sailings for our first Antarctica season, we've decided that one of our ships will do the round trip Ushuaia 9-night Antarctica Discovery for those that don't have quite as much time to take and spend in that area of the world. And then we're going to have the other ship, and I believe it'll be the World Traveler, our second ship, that will do 12 and maybe some 15-night Antarctica cruises that'll be a little bit different, making some different stops in different areas, maybe going over to the Falklands as well. So stay tuned for those. As soon as I have those itineraries in the next week or 2, I'll be able to share that with you. And again, you can share with everyone here on this call as well.
Sorry, so Linda is very excited about those itineraries and she'd like to book them, but she also would like to take advantage of our, Zoom event offer to book those. So can we commit to Linda that when those come out, we'll work something out for her?
Carlos is the ultimate salesperson right there, right? We will absolutely work with you. We will absolutely work with you on Antarctica. We'll absolutely work with Linda as well, because we want to make sure that she's able to sail. So once they come out, reach out to me directly, and we'll make sure that we give you something special to offer.
As soon as we know what category she's going to want to book, we'll let you know and work something out for her.
Sounds good.
I mean, come on, I gotta work for our guests here. This is not
absolutely. I'm all for it. All for it. Absolutely. We'll make sure that we take care of them.
See, we have more guests that are excited about it. So we'll get a few. I'll get you a few over in an email when they're
sounds great.
when we're ready for them. Okay, what about Canada, New England, and Alaska?
Right now we don't have Canada, New England, or Alaska on our itineraries. That's not to say that we won't go there in the future, but as of right now, looking ahead into the fall of 22 and early 23, we don't currently have that on the docket. What I have heard rumor of, and this stays here between all of us here on this lovely call, but from what I have heard, some of the destinations that we're going to be focusing on are not so traditional cruise destinations, more exotic, more far-reaching. We don't like to repeat itineraries over and over again, as you can kind of tell from some of our itineraries. But we will be going over to Asia. We'll do some Australia, New Zealand. We may even come across to Antarctica from Australia, New Zealand as well. It's a whole different way to get there. We will continue to do, obviously, South America as we reposition our ships every year to get down to Antarctica. We will obviously have a lot of North Cape and those types of itineraries when we go back and visit the Arctic. But the idea is that we're going to sail across the world in major different destinations. And we're even looking at a 2024 world cruise as well. So stay tuned for more fun itineraries.
Wow, that's great. Those 2024 world cruise itineraries are selling out so quickly across the industry that I'm very, very excited to have a little bit more inventory to sell. And I'm sure you guys are going to do an incredible job, especially if you're going to be visiting ports and places of the world that most of the other cruise lines are not going to be visiting.
And a lot of other ships can't get into. That's the beauty of having a really small ship and an expedition ship, is that we can get into some really unique ports. If you take a look at our itineraries, you'll see that we try to incorporate a lot of very popular ports that are on people's traditional bucket list, but we also incorporate some off the beaten path ports of call that are different and unique and unusual. Some ports that you can only get to by using our Zodiacs as well, which is a pretty cool experience. So yeah, I think that's what's unique about having a really small ship, to be able to get in and out of different destinations, and not just certain places in Antarctica, but also worldwide.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dennis, we're sailing on the Athens to Lisbon trip in September. When will we get air travel info so that we can make connections? Also, how is the fire situation in Athens?
So we normally ticket our air 45 days out. So you should be hearing from us fairly soon about that. I do ask for patience over the next few days with us, just because, as you know, with our ship rerouting due to the COVID situation on board, we have had to, and just to clarify what happened on board, because we went back to Greece, we were unable to dock in Alexandria. So we wanted to make sure that our guests still got their Egypt experience. So Atlas chartered 2 planes and flew everyone who wanted to go from Greece all the way to Cairo. We put them up in the Ritz-Carlton for a couple of days, and we have comped all of their tours. So they're going to see the pyramids. There's this amazing light show in Giza at the pyramids in the evening as well. So we've taken care of all of that for our guests on this voyage. Our next voyage was supposed to sail from Alexandria. So anyone who is in Egypt right now on a pre-tour with us has been met or will be met at the airport and flown to Greece. Anyone who's just arriving and getting into Egypt is also being flown to Greece to meet the ship. So we're really trying to kind of take care of everybody as much as we possibly can, so that they don't miss out on the experience that they intended to have, even though they're not on board the ship, doing as best we can given the current circumstances. So that all being said, our air sea department is completely swamped at the moment, making all of these air arrangements, not just for the current cruise, but for our second sailing that's tomorrow. So give us a couple of days, just a little bit of breathing room, so that we can take care of all of those guests on the next cruise as well, where we've had to make some adjustments, and then hopefully you'll be able to get your flight soon. So reach out to your Luxury Cruise Connections advisor, give another week or so if you can, and then they can reach out to our air sea department and get you all set so that you can make your connections and set up your seat assignments and that type of thing.
Thank you. And Dennis, I apologize for not knowing this, and I don't have this information in front of me, but if you by any chance did not make this arrangement with us, we would still be very happy to help you. So anything that we can do to help you navigate through these questions, or anything that you have going on, please let us know. Even, just so you know, even if you did not make this booking via us, okay? We stay committed to our promise of making clients' dreams come true, and we will do that for you no matter what, okay? So we're here for you.
In terms of the Athens fire situation, from what I understand, I mean, it's very smoky and smoggy in certain areas. When our guests and our crew were on board on August 4th, that we actually set sail from Athens, the pictures were very clear. Everyone went up to see the Parthenon, the Acropolis. I was looking at people's pictures and everything online, and I didn't see any evidence at that time of major disturbance due to the fires. I know that it's in different sections. As of right now, I need to take a look to see what's going on, if that has hindered any of the tour opportunities. Obviously, our ship came back into Crete, and we'll be making our way back to Athens. So I've got to take a look to see how that's gotten under control, and if that's going to affect any of our touring opportunities as well.
Thank you for that. You know, I think it's extremely important. You know, whoever you're doing business with, or you know, any cruise line you're selling with, any agency you're doing business with, you know, that the values of the brand and of the company are in line with what you as a guest want, right? And so, what I've been able to assess so far regarding the Atlas Ocean Voyages brand is they really want to take care of their guests. They really want to make sure that you enjoy your trip. They really want to make sure that everything goes perfect, and they really want to make sure that, you know, even if something does not go exactly as planned, that they do whatever they got to do to make the experience and the result as good as they can, right? And they'll go as far as they got to go to make sure that that's the case. So that's really good, right? I mean, you want to be doing with somebody that appreciates and understands customer service and guest satisfaction, like you guys do. So that's very nice. Thank you very much, Kathy, for that.
Of course.
Okay, I want to make sure that I covered every question. If I missed anything, I usually try to go in order, but there's a lot of chat activity going on. So even, you know, you might not see all of it, but there's a lot of direct and private messages going on. So that's why if I missed something, please let me know and feel free to unmute yourself and ask away, because Kathy gets very, very busy. She's a very, very busy woman. So I want to make sure we take advantage of her since we have her. Atlas, you know, Atlas is like you say, I've
been able to receive my previous question, period.
June, how are you? Go ahead.
I'm great. What I wanted to know is the company that we have been doing business with knows nothing about you, and I've asked questions about the air, which I now realize you're having problems with, but it's become frustrated, and we've even tried to sign up because we're leaving on the October 4th cruise to Barbados, and we can't even get on your website to try to sign up because we don't have a specific number. The travel company doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. And anyhow, is there somebody that I can talk to that might be able to help me with a couple of questions that I really don't think you need to bother with right now?
Sure, absolutely. You know, if you do you have a booking with us directly, or you're working with a different travel agency and you've made a booking, or?
I have an idea. June, from what you're saying, it seems like you've been working with a different travel agency, like we said.
Yes, like Pavis.
Okay, so like I said, I mean, we're here to help and do whatever we can to make sure your trip goes well. So even though we're not necessarily directly involved with your reservation, if you want, I would love to take your booking number privately, and then I'll send it over to Kathy. Okay, and then Kathy will help us navigate through it. I mean, obviously, since it's another travel agency, there's going to be little that we'll be able to, you know. We'll help you navigate through it, okay? And we'll help you communicate with Atlas.
As long as you have a booking number, I can look it up in the system and see and try to answer as many questions as I can, and then put you in touch with the right people that you need to talk to.
Yes, well, I think what has happened is that you are so new, no one knows what you're doing, and the questions they can answer are the questions that are down in black and white on the paper in front of them. And so, you know, it's not necessarily their fault, it's more a matter of just passing on information. So I would truly appreciate that. If you would call me back, I could give you my booking number, or we can go offline and I'll give it to you.
Yes, that'd be great. If you could give Carlos or me your booking number, we can take a look at that and assist you. But I'd urge you to work with a travel agency. I don't want to say anything negative, but it sounds a little odd that you're not able to get some information. So we'll definitely do the best that we can. I've worked in the cruise industry for 23, almost 24 years. I worked on board ships. I can answer probably 99% of the questions that you have. There's a few little things here and there that because we're new, but I'll certainly be able to help you with as much of it as I can, and if not, direct you to the right department that can help you.
That sounds fun. You've been very helpful today. I've learned more about your cruise line, and we're excited and anticipating very greatly our first voyage with you.
Yay! I'm so excited that you're going to join us.
June, and I will personally send you an email after this event, and so that we can communicate, and I'll get you in touch with Kathy. Okay?
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Count on it.
Bye-bye.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. If anybody else wants to unmute yourself and ask some questions, please This is the time. This is the time.
I have a question. Why, Kathy, are there no sailings from within the U.S.?
Well, right now, that is because of the different sailings that our executives from both our parent company as well as our president of our company have decided to choose. However, I do have some good news for you. We will be making a handful of calls in South Florida in 2023. Those itineraries haven't been released yet, but we will have a handful of those. The majority of the answer to that question, I'm sure, is really just because we're sailing worldwide and doing some unique different things in different ports. And our parent company is based in Europe, so I'm sure there's some financial issues or financial reasons for that as well in the first season. But we do plan to call on a limited basis in the United States, but not until 23 and beyond.
Kathy, I think one of the biggest feedbacks you're going to take back after this event is we need those itineraries out. People are excited to book. We want to
Believe me, I ask daily. I know, I want to see them too, and I ask constantly, and I think it's a matter of just tweaking the itineraries. We have a very hands-on team that likes to tweak itineraries and make sure that the ports are exactly perfect and that there's an opportunity not just for a really unique itinerary, but also we're looking at future itineraries where you'll notice that we do a lot of overnights, and we try and schedule them on the front or back end of the cruise so that we can actually put cruises together back to back. We used to call them max shore itineraries. Unfortunately, the ones that we had planned were with the Black Sea, and because Russia and Ukraine weren't playing nice together, we had to make changes to that itinerary. We did some for the Holy Land, and because of unrest in Israel and that area of the world, we had to change some of that over. But we do plan to reinstate max shore, where if you have a little bit longer time to take, we will have opportunities where you can actually do 2 back-to-back cruises, and we'll tie them together for you with a fully included land tour in the middle that takes you to inland, some unique destinations, and have some unique experiences too. So that is probably part of the reason that it's taking a little bit longer to get those out as well, because they're looking at kind of tweaking those and making sure we've got the best opportunity to package those for our guests as well.
Amazing. Then I'm going to read Dennis' comment. We're so very impressed with all the information you have given us and are so excited to cruise with you in September and beyond. Thank you. Dennis, thank you very much for participating and attending today. I want to thank everybody that are here and participating today. Look, we as an agency, we want to make sure that you guys have all the information that you need in order to make the best decision for your travels. We're going to be here for you. Like I said before, I mean, even if we weren't the agency of record on your original booking, we're all about relationships and long-term relationships, and want to make sure you're happy. And we will stay true to our values and our promise of just being there for you to help you plan your travel and your cruises. So count on us for anything that you need. We're gonna be doing a lot more of these events, and hopefully many more with Kathy as well and Atlas. We are very excited about the relationship, and we're very excited about you guys being in the water and being this very unique product. I think you called yourself a niche product or a niche, a niche cruise line. But to tell you the truth, I think you're catering to a much wider array of people than you might even think. I mean, there's I think everybody wants a little bit of adventure, right? And the fact that you're it's an adventure for everybody in different levels, and as long as you're providing that amazing experience all throughout the journey, I think you're going to be catering to a wider audience that you might even be thinking about at this point.
I agree.
We know we're certainly very excited about it. So let's see. I wanna stop talking. Let somebody else talk. Okay. How about this, Kathy? Let me ask you something. So we learned about the destinations. We learned about the rooms. We learn about a little bit of what plans you have for the future. I am particularly a foodie. I am into really good food. Tell me a little bit about it.
So we do have kind of a wide variety of different options on board in terms for a small ship. Again, remember we're less than 200 guests and 98 cabins on board, just under 10,000 tons. So we're not a big ship, so we don't have a ton of opportunity space-wise, but we have different dining options on board. So I mentioned Paula's Pantry, which is kind of a grab and go. I mentioned our main dining room, which is called Porto. Because our parent company is based in Portugal and we are flagged under the Portuguese flag, our ships will be. That's kind of our homage to Portugal. So we have our Porto dining room. We also have what we call 7 Aft, which is our alternative steakhouse. It's obviously on deck 7 all the way aft. And that is reservations only, but again, the same, no charge for it, the same kind of come as you are, very casually elegant restaurant offering there. And it is a steakhouse, and we actually have a jawspring grill. Currently, when you go on cruise ships, you're not allowed to have open flame in order to grill steak. So they have to cook it a little bit differently. We were able to get approved this unique new type of grill called a jawspring grill. So we actually have grilled steaks on board. There's been rave reviews about it. So we do have our steakhouse there. We'll be open for lunch for burgers and things there too. Really great type of limited menu though, burgers, but again, that steakhouse feel in the evening. So that is one opportunity. We'll also have what we call Alma, which is kind of a pop-up in our main dining room. On certain evenings, we will have a Portuguese-inspired menu that'll have different types of Portuguese foods there that people can try out. We will also be kind of offering a pop-up restaurant of sorts as well for plant-based people that are very interested in plant-based and vegetarian menus called Journeys. So we'll be testing that out here very soon as well. And of course, everyone loves room service. So we'll have that opportunity as well. So you can order room service on board the ship as well. So we've got a lot of different dining options for a relatively small ship, which is great. We do have our executive chef and team go ashore in the different ports of call to bring back a flavor and a flair of the different destinations that we're visiting. So there will be unique elements kind of to remind you of the destination that you're visiting, so that we incorporate some local tastes so that you can have that opportunity to experience those as well on our menu. So it will be ever changing. So again, it's a really cool focus right now. There have been rave reviews about the food and the service on board so far. So we're very happy to report that back.
That's very good. And are you planning on introducing a little bit of the local flavors in different ports on some of the restaurants? Okay, good.
Absolutely. Now, and we're also looking in the future to incorporate a dining ashore option. And again, we're working on this, and for the specific itineraries where you can actually, it'll be part of our shore excursion package. You can choose it'll be one of the optional ones for a fee, but we will actually do some research of local areas that'll have some upscale opportunities for you to visit, and we'll have dining packages. It's called kind of a dine around type experience. So we'll be offering that in the future. It's not available just yet, but that's something that we're working on. So a little bit of the future.
That's my type of shore excursion. So I'm a Scotch drinker. My wife is a wine drinker. Will I be able to find enough good options of single malts and good wines on board?
Absolutely. So we have a set list of those that are included, and then there are some premium ones for a charge that you can upgrade to as well. A lot of different unique options from what I understand, not just for liquor, but also wines and beers. So if you like beers, and that's from around the world, there's a huge selection of that.
Local beers is a big thing for a lot of people.
For sure. And in your mini fridge, you'll actually get a part of My Atlas. So once you're booked and you have your booking number, you can go on My Atlas and fill in not only your bed requests, whether you want them separated or together, whether you want what type of pillows that you want and how many pillows you want. You can put down your preference in advance, and also for your mini fridge, how you want that stocked. So you'll have a handful of options of things that you would like in your stateroom upon arrival. Obviously, if there are certain sodas that you like, or certain types of beer that you'd like, or certain types of liquor, you'll be able to choose that pre-cruise as well.
Hey, Kathy, obviously, you being a new cruise and with all the, all the uncertainty that sometimes, well, or that, still a reality in some parts of the world. What are your cancellation policies like? What's the flexibility like at this point? Can you tell us a little bit more about it? I know that even in this call, I know we might have some guests that are very, very much thinking about traveling and very much thinking about trying the brand, and they're probably saying, well, hold on, I don't know, let me see. And most likely what might be holding them back a little bit is not knowing this information. So can you share that?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So our final payment date is 90 days prior to cruise, which is pretty good. Some cruise lines have it a little longer, but 90 days before is when final payment is due. So any changes that you make prior to final payment, as long as you change it for another cruise or you make adjustments, we waive any sort of cancellation or penalties or admin fees that come along with that. If you flat out cancel prior to 90 days, there is a $250 per person cancellation fee. But again, if you're willing to look at a future cruise date, we can put that money toward a future cruise. We don't want to take your money. We want you to cruise with us. So the idea is that, we can make some adjustments there for you at an itinerary or a time that you feel more comfortable sailing. We do have standard cancellation penalties after that 90-day mark that start, and we have a cancellation policy that obviously I can share with you and your team, and you can share with any of your guests as well, that will go, and it's very much in line with what other cruise cancellation policies are within that 90-day final payment window.
Okay, that's good. And the one thing that I know regarding cancellation policies and pricing throughout my experience in this industry is that when you get a new brand, they're going to be usually a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more flexible than anybody else, right? So obviously pricing for Atlas right now is going to be at its lowest level it'll probably ever be. At least I'm sure that's what your executives over there at Atlas are intending to do, right? Same thing with cancellation policies. Okay, so if there's people that will be a lot more aggressive and taking advantage of these opportunities very early, and some people that are going to wait a little bit. But if you're those that like to wait a little bit, that's absolutely fine. But know that given the flexibility in the pricing right now, it would be a really good opportunity to maybe get something that you might like, that you think you might be interested in, get that in the books so that as pricing goes up, you're going to see that you had a really, really good deal. Sometimes the pricing component is hard to assess because you have never risen prices yet, right? But that's going to happen.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I'm reminded of that by my boss every day, is that, when get in now, because the prices aren't going to go down, they're going to go up, especially given some of the popularity of the itineraries we've just announced and just released. Antarctica has been, we already have a bunch of sold out cruises for Antarctica, not just for 21, but also into 22. There's certain sailings that I didn't even mention, and even some of the group space that we had put together that are completely sold out already. Obviously, I didn't put that on our list today, but there's been some really popular sailings. Remember, we only have 98 staterooms. We're only filling, and I'll mention as well, for 2021 and probably into 2022, we have no plans to fill the ship to 100% max capacity, just because of the current circumstances. Since we don't sail to the US and because we have under 200 guests, we don't actually fall under CDC guidelines. We will obviously follow those protocols and want to make sure that everyone's comfortable, especially those, since our clientele is North American. However, we're trying really hard to, and we obviously have a lot of space ratio on board anyway, just having fewer guests on board. But the idea is for the first few sailings, the remainder of this year into next, is that we'll only fill the ship to about 80-85% capacity max. Some ships will be less than that. Some will be right at that probably 85% mark, but that just is a little peace of mind factor to make sure that people feel comfortable. That being said, we don't have as many staterooms available as well, like just under 100 staterooms to for us to sell. We're not selling 6,000 cabins at a time here, so for that reason, we do sell out very quickly on those very popular itineraries. So it is good. And that being said, Carla, thank you for that. But it is good to get in, get your booking, make your reservation, even if it's well in advance, knowing that if you wanted to make some changes to that, and if you wanted to push it out further to a different sailing at a later time, as long as it's before that final payment 90-day window, you can do that, and we'll waive that fee, and we'll make sure we move that over to your next cruise. So that's always a good way to position yourself.
Your pricing includes airfare out of 16 departure cities in the United States, Canada as well?
Yes, we have three in Canada.
Okay. And if somebody does not want to or cannot take your air, will they get a credit?
Yes. So for our non-Antarctica voyages, anywhere other than Antarctica, the air credit is $500 per person. For Antarctica, it is not attractive. We do that intentionally because we want you on our chartered flight. It is $300 per person air credit. So we do have the air credit, but it's not super attractive for people to take it because part of the allure to our product is that we are all-inclusive and include that airfare for you.
That's great. That's great. You guys, insurance options, you offer insurance as well directly. I mean, we also have third-party insurance companies that we work very well with. But glad to know that you guys also have your own. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Question regarding that capacity. Kathy, any deliberate changes regarding that max capacity? At one point, you were saying it was going to be 75. Now we're talking about maybe 85. Are you expecting that to continue to go up at one point or go down at one point? What's your expectation regarding the max capacity of those ships?
I think we're in flux a little bit, just given the current global situation, and kind of keeping an eye on the booking curve too. Like I said, we've got a handful of sailings, mostly Antarctica, that are completely sold out right now. And when I say sold out, maxing out at that 80 to 85% with a very long wait list. So we can open up more additional space if we want to a little later on, but I think we're just kind of cautiously waiting to see what happens in the world and how people feel and with travel before we do that. And we absolutely will reach out to people on that waiting list if it becomes obvious that we want to open that up.
Is there a difference based on the itinerary? Are there some itineraries that are at 75, some are 85, or right now the guidance is 85?
80 to 85 has been the guidance. I think it depends on if there's, groups traveling together or families that have been traveling together that have kind of bumped it up a little bit. I mean, remember, a percentage point for us was 98 staterooms is not that big.
Right.
So it only takes a cabin or two to bump that up to a 75, 85 kind of percent. So, so I think that's kind of where the cutoff has been.
Okay. Thank you. What I wanted to share with those that are still in our event is if you haven't done business with Luxury Cruise Connections before, meaning with us as an agency, this is kind of the benefits you're going to get from us. Okay. You're going to have a direct relationship with one of our advisors. Everybody's extremely knowledgeable about every single product that we sell. This is what we do all day. And we pride ourselves on not only being very knowledgeable, but providing very good service. And the reason why we can provide really good service is, well, first of all, because it's part of our core values, but second of all, because we have very close relationships with our cruise line partners, right? With people like Kathy, that will be there for us to answer any questions. She's not available for the public. She's not available for any guest that calls Atlas because her job specifically meant to communicate with us. Okay, so we have Kathy. She's our ally. She's our friend. She's there for us, and she's there to support us, and we're here to support you. And so that's a great value about doing business with us. You can absolutely rely on us to make sure that we answer your questions, and whatever we don't know, because sometimes we don't know it all, but whatever we don't know, then she'll be able to answer for us. I think we're getting somebody unintentionally sharing their screen. That's okay. And so what I was saying is, we're here for you. We're here for you. And if there's something we don't know, then we have somebody like Kathy at Atlas that can answer those questions for us, and we'll make sure to follow up and also resolve any issues, right? I mean, obviously Atlas offers their own air, but we also have a great air department and additional services and pre and post services department that can help custom tailor your trip. You might want to be in Lisbon for maybe a week prior to your trip, and you're trying to figure out what to do or where to stay or how to get there, and that's what we do. Okay, that's exactly what we do. We're a virtuoso agency and luxury cruise agency by nature. And when we talk about luxury, it doesn't only mean that we're booking luxury cruises, but it means we're offering luxury service. And you tie that with exclusive offers and deals and promotions and savings, and that's a home run. That's why we continue to grow and continue to do so well and continue to impress our clients all the time. So great. I think we've covered a lot. Anybody has any more questions before we let Kathy go? Okay.
Nothing.
It's okay. We've done a lot. We've covered a lot, and we've been talking for about an hour and a half. So we're gonna give everybody a break. But we really appreciate you joining us, Kathy. Truly appreciate the support and the partnership. I'm very, very excited about Atlas Ocean Voyages in the future to come. You can count. You can definitely count with our support, because we believe very deeply that you guys believe in the same things that we believe in, and that any guests that we put on board your ships are going to be very happy and we'll have a great experience. And that's what we go for. And message to our guests that are still with us. You hopefully will be reached out by one of our advisors. We love to create relationships. And so you will very likely, get a call or get an email or text message or something from one of our advisors, just letting you know we're here for you. And if you have any questions, or if you want to take advantage of any of the offers that we have going on right now with Atlas, we're here to make sure we make that happen for you. And we'll see you soon on our next Zoom call, hopefully our next Atlas Ocean Zoom call very, very soon. Kathy, what about after you come back from that trip?
I would love to.
Yeah?
I would love to show you. I mean, if you don't mind, I'm not a professional photographer, but I would love to share my experience with you. I'm actually sailing from Alexandria, flying into Cairo, doing a pre-tour, and sailing from Cairo to Athens. So we're doing a lot of Greek ports as well. So I would love to share pictures, my experiences. And I'll be very honest with you about my onboard experience, because I worked on ships in the very beginning of my career years and years ago. I am very critical. So I have no problem saying where we need, to work on some areas, and I love giving feedback. And I'd be more than thrilled to hop on a Zoom call and share my experience with you. Absolutely.
When is it that you're going?
August 28th. I'm actually going on the pre-tour August 25th. I'll be back the night of September 7th. So maybe sometime in late September, early October, I'd be happy to do something. Just
do me a favor. Dr. Karen Kramer is going to be there on October 4th. Please make sure everything is perfect.
I absolutely will. And Dr. Karen, I'll make sure that I have everything on board. I'll give you my favorite bartender to see and give you some tips when I get back, for sure.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kathy. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Looking forward to being here for you very soon for your next trips, next cruises, the next whatever travel you have in mind. And have a great day, everybody, and great rest of the week. Weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.